Okay, so I'm doing a little test right now, testing to see if what colors are really shown. So I might be using in between green and red. So that's what I'll keep on. So that's what we're gonna keep right here. All right. So I need to actually get this so I can be for sure online that it's still rolling. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. I need to get some more of them those types of oh yeah, Twitch. Where's the red? Right here. Okay. I need to make sure that I'm still rolling, so check how we looking over here. Okay. Mute that. See how we looking over here. Pretty decent. Okay, so what's going on, everybody? Today we are basically going over some math stuff. I seen a video and it kind of made me want to break some stuff down. So honestly, I'm just about to hop right into it. All right, so it was about percentages. They were talking about percentages, and they were like, what's the percent? And how do you find the percent of something? And basically, according to some sources, I'm going to actually play this video for you if I can find it. But there was basically a dude who was doing a math problem, right? And he was stating that percent is, he was basically saying that percent means per, he broke it down like this. So I'll show you. This is how he broke it down. I'm going to use this side of the paper first, since I used it. So per cent separated the word, obviously. And this is how he broke it down. Okay. So he said percent all right, so that's close range for y'all. So he said percent. He said per means 4 and cent is 100. So there was a problem like this right here. What is 7% of 300. All right. Wish I had it in real time. Let me see if I got this in view real quick. Let me move it over here. I'm gonna start writing in the middle. But basically, what is 7% of 100 of 300? And he said percent means 4. And if we go here, I broke it down because I was like, once I seen that in the way that they broke it down, and I started to do the calculations, I'm like, it's not actually 100 because this would be 100. So let's show you like this. If we have this, it goes okay. Have it like this. How am I going to show this? I'll put it this way. Put a dot here. And we're going to go here. Okay. So, for instance, all right. So now I just broke it down this way. I broke it down for you right here. Hopefully this is in view right. Let me try to make this screen bigger. Right there. Let me just hold it this way like this. Okay, so you see the decimal point, right? He said it is per 100. Hundreds is to the left of the decimal. Hundreds is to the left of the decimal point, right? So That's not correct. In terms of wording, it's not correct. Hundredths, 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 instead of hundreds, right? So as you see, I just want y'all to hope you can pause that and run it back. So you see we have actually, I wish I was closer. I need a little board for this, little point board for this. I'm gonna just try to talk it out. Okay, so $1 would be ones. It will be the ones place plus the tenths and the hundredths place. How we use $1, how we basically determine dollars, right? So how you find percent, cent is on everything that is considered a cent is pushed towards, this is how I broke it down. So everything towards a cent that's considered cent is pushed towards the right side of the decimal point. So everything on the right side of the decimal point is a cent. Okay? Everything on the left side is not. All right? So, how we find percentage. And then I made my own equations and I started thinking about it once I put it together this way. So basically stating that everything on the right side of the decimal, so everything on this side where you see the 2 zeros, for like how we'd be like, oh, how do you write out $1? You would write the number 1 dot or decimal point 0 0 $1. $1.01. 1.01. Okay? 1.01. Okay? So it's in the hundreds place. So let's break this down now, because I know that it feels like I'm probably not getting to the point. So once you get here, we have this dot here, right? I might get closer. For y'all. I might get closer. I kind of want this little view, though. I kind of want my little view. This is why I wanted to, gotta give me a board. So, right here you have a little how's that look? Decent enough. Okay, so we have $1. If you want to find a percentage of 300, basically what he was stating is you want to take the 7 and multiply it times 3 out of that 300. He broke it down. It was like he said there's 3 100s. That's what he said. I thought of it like take the number that's the percentage, but since it's a percent, it's going to reside on the right side, because 1% is equivalent to the fraction of 1 over 100, and it's 0 in the ones place, 0.01, because it's in the hundreds, and that's how you get 1%. It's 1 over 100. 1 over 100. It's in the 100th place, not 100s. 100ths. lisp. Add a lisp to it. It's in the 100ths place, okay? The hundredths. It's on the right side of the decimal point, okay? So, with that being said, when I put that together like that, I'm like, all right. And how I broke this down, if using your fingers, if using your hands, and you're looking at me, since I have this in the proper zone. If I'm the paper, if you're looking at the paper right now, obviously with this hand, it's going to be different versus if I do it with this hand. But if I do it with this hand, we have 1/10, 1/10, the gap in between, or where you see these three fingers in this gap right here, in this gap here, you see that's the decimal point. That's the split, right? Everything over here. So if we use these 3 digits, just like for the 3 digits you see here, this will be 1, 0, 0. Okay? So this gap here, everything over here is tenths, hundredths, tenths, hundredths. To the left side, you have ones. Okay, so you have 1/10 and 1/10, 1/10, 1/10, 1/10, 1/100ths, 1/100ths, 1/100th. Okay. So when you do that, I'm like, okay, let me break this down. So I said, because it's kind of easy. Now you can look at numbers like if you're going into the store, you can figure it out if you know how to do math in your head. You want to break it down pretty good. But that's if you want to do that, you know. People like to use their calculators and stuff. But I use the calculator later on to prove I did it by head first, and then I did calculator for confirmation. So 7 times 3. For the youngins out there, you're going to add 7 plus 7 plus 7. 7 plus 7 equals 14. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay? Now you're going to do 14 plus 7. 14 plus 7. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay? 7 times. So times are multiplication. When you see the little X, or if you see a star in between numbers, or in parentheses. Those are your forms of multiplication. For certain instances, the parentheses is a little different, but just focus on the star and the X. If you see a star or an asterisk, that's what the star is called. Asterisk. Asterisk. If you see an asterisk, that's multiplication or timesing things. Multiplying things. So you're going to do 7 plus 7 plus 7. That equals 21. Okay? So that's 21. He was saying, and that's for this equation here, right? So take the 7 times 3. So once I thought about that, and I know that it's 21, when you put that 21 is equivalent to this right here. So I already have 1 right here. So now let me just add 21. Now just let me add a 2. So I added a 2. Okay. So now that I added this 2 here, all right, that is basically the basics of 7 times 3. But we have 7 times 300. But it's not actually 7 times 300. It's 7%. And percent is using the decimal. You're going to add a decimal point. You know, you're adding decimal points. You're going to add your little dot for separation point. And you're going to another side of things. So that 21 has a point. You know, it's like saying 20 point. 7 times 3 is like saying 21.00. It's the same. But when you use percentages, that's where you get decimal points and fractions of things. If you're not doing percentages, you don't get decimals and stuff like that. There's no decimal points. So that's the difference. I could have said that earlier, but I wasn't, the mind just be going on. So I'm like, okay, but that's not in the hundreds place. That's in the tens place. It's in the tens to the ones. It's right here. Tens, ones place. It's not in the tenths place or the hundredths place. It's in the tens and ones, but it's in the tens. So I'm like, okay, but we're trying to find the percentage. Remember, if you hear percent, just think of dollars and everything that's in the cent section. All right? Think of, whenever you hear the word percent, think of dollars and then think of everything that is literally on the cent side, because that's where it's going to reside. So when we think of 7% now, what is 7%? I just broke it down earlier. And if you are engaging, I want you to drop it in the comments. I want you to tell me what 7% would be without using a calculator, because I just told you what 1% would be. All right. But either way it goes, 7% would basically be right here, going into the hundreds place. Because 1% is 1 over 100, or 1 divided by 100. Those are all the equivalents of saying the same thing. So 7% would be 0 in the ones place, 0 in the tenths place, and 7 in the hundreds place. Okay? Now, what do we want to do with this? We want to find 7% of 3. If you find 7% of 3, just like we did 7 times 3 here, if you want to find that, that's going to be what? If you said 21 cents, you're correct. Or if you said 0.21, you are correct. Because we have 7 times 3 with no decimals, no fractions, and no, percents. With percents, we have 7%, and we're trying to find it out of $3. 7% of $3 is 21 cents. Now let's move up to the tens place. Now we have $30. 7% of $30 would be $2.10. Okay? So the decimal point is moving now. Now the decimal point is moving. It was, we had 0.21 first. That's 3. 21 is over here. So the 21 will be over here in the tens and the hundreds place. Then you want to take that when you move up to the tens place. And now your 1 is going to be in the tenths place. And your 2 is going to be in the ones place. So you have $2.10. So 7% of $30 will be $2.10. Now we're going to move up to the hundreds place, not, what they were stating. But now we're going to move up to the hundreds place. Now your 1 is going to be on the one side, and your 2 is going to end up in the tens place. So 7% of 300 is 21. Or 7% of $300 is $21. Okay, so now I made my equation when I thought about it, because I like using fives and stuff. So I said 15%. So 15% of 3. Retake this for the youngins out there. You want to do what again? 15 plus 15 plus 15. What's 5 times 3? 15. Okay. So we have 5 times plus 5 equals 10, 5, and then 10 plus 5 equals 15. For you that don't know what carrying is, this is what we do when we carry. So we take the 5, and then we add to the other side. That's what we call carrying. So you're going to do 5, 10, 15. 1's going to go here because you're going to add it on to this side. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Or you just do a regular count because it's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring that down. Now we have 45. Crunch numbers, that's 9, but we're not going to get into that. So 45. Now you have 45. So we have 45 now. And we're still working with $300. So now I want you all to figure out, I want you all to break it down and tell me what is 15%. And you can do this in your head. What is 15% of $3? Don't use a calculator. Use a calculator after for like confirmations, but don't ruin it for yourself. Don't ruin it. All right. So I was like, because once I broke it down like that and I got it down like that, I was like, oh, that's kind of easy then. Because I said this is like day to day. This is like a day to day thing. You see these types of, you see percentages on store runs. Okay, you see it when you go to the store. You see percentage, in business documents. So that's why I was like, it makes sense to kind of like learn this type of math. It's more important than, finding the square root of certain things and this and that. It's more important because it's in day to day. When it comes to trade and commerce, which is once again under business, but that's on the operational trade side instead of reading documents. But like I said, the day to day thing, reading documents is not like a day-to-day thing unless you're in a work field where you're required to read and file things and stuff. But when you're just walking around and you're amongst others and you're operating within trade, you're using percents. We use dollars. We ring up stuff at the cash register. You're using those types of things. So I'm like, bro, it's way more important to learn this. But I just broke this down because that video, like, I don't know, triggered something in me to be like, let me break this down, because he said hundreds, and I be trying to like help folks out, but he was being helpful in the video as well. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I just felt the need to make this. So 45, we have 45 now, right? So that's our number. So 15% of $3. Remember our numbers. We have 3, 30, 300. We're 300. Got three numbers. Three, I don't even remember what we call those. Are they, I want to say denotations. That's what they consider dollars. Yeah, like denotations. 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. Sometimes 2. 1, 2, 5s, 10, 20, 50s, and 100s. So basically we would have technically, depending on how we break it up, but if we use tens and others, I'm being extra right now though, so don't mind me. You can skip through this if you wanted to, but I'm just being extra with that part. I was getting ready to break stuff down, like we use $10, we'd have this many denotations. Basically, they would be notes. How many cash notes do you have? But let's just continue. So 15% of $3 would be 45 cents. If anyone put it in the comments, I don't know if I asked that already. I don't remember. But 15% of $3 would be 45 cents. 0.45. The 5 would be in the hundredths place. The 4 would be in the tenths place. The 0 would obviously be in the ones place. Now we move up to the tens place. 15% of $30 would then be what? If you said $4.50, you are correct. Now we move up to the hundredths place. 15% of $300 would be right. And that's all. That's what we have, you know. It will be $45. If you said $45, you are correct. You get a gold star. All right. But yeah, so I don't know. Like processing that, thinking about that, made me wonder. Like, it's actually quite easier when you can, if you know how to do your math, and you don't, you know. You just have to be patient for some things, but yeah, that's pretty good though. Not gonna lie. I like that because I'm like, that helps with the day-to-day things. Like if you really wanted to know, they'd be like, oh, I got 5. We have a 5% off. Now you can calculate it up to whatever it is. Tax, it'd be different, you know, when people be saying certain things, they be having all these little random numbers with their tax and stuff. But basically, you can try to make an estimate. You can make an estimate because unless you have these cars to where you can go uh, get that tax taken off, you're not. You're going to be living like the regulars, and you're going to be paying your taxes out there, you know. So if something was like $3, you can, and they're like, oh, this is 5% off for this one. Just do what we just did there. You're going to multiply that. You're going to take 5 times that number, right? 5 times 3, 15. 5, 10, 15. You're going to do, you know you have 1 and 5. Percents, once again, are in the hundreds. So if you look at dollars, you're going to have 1 and 5. That's 15 cents. I believe so. I believe that's 15 cents because it's a dollar amount. So 5% of $3 would be probably 15 cents. If I'm correct. If I'm correct, that's what it would be. I'm assuming that's what it would be. I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let's see. Let me do a quick one. Let me do a quick calculation. Let's see if I'm wrong. And if you ever want to multiply things on your calculator and you don't know how to find percent signs, always remember the lower it's going to be. If you say 1%, 1% will be 0.01 or just 0.01. It's not 0.1 because that's 10%. Because it's in the tenths place. If you want to find literally like a penny is in the hundredths place. A nickel is in the hundredths place. A dime is in the tenths place. To break that down, now I just put you on to something because I just thought about that myself. So, yeah. A penny and a nickel are in the hundredths place, and a dime, quarter would be in the in a $50. Dimes, quarter, $50 would be in the tenths place. Whole dollar is obviously in the ones place. That would be in the ones place. Takes place in the ones place. And it's on the left side of the decimal point. All right? So, oh yeah, but let's see. So, 0.05 times 3 equals 0.15 or 0.15. That is 15 cents. A dime and a nickel, or 15 pennies, or let me start from penny. 15 pennies, or secondly, 3 nickels, or third, or tertiary, or thirdly, if that's a word, thirdly, that would be a dime and a nickel. So if they say you get 5% off of that, you can do your quick math right there. Or if you want to do the calculator, pull out your calculator and then write it in decimal form, and you would say 0.05 0.5. They say 10% off, you would do 0.10 or just 0.1. That's 10. They say 25% off, you'd say 0.25 or 0.25. 50% off, 0.5 or 0.50. You know, 100% off is just 1.0 or just like, it's the whole thing pretty much. And that's rarely going to happen. 75%, I should have went to 75. I skipped a quarter. So 75% off 0.75, 75 or 0.75 when you write in it and you're typing it into your calculator. And then you press the X. You have a division sign, an X, which is your multiplication or times. But in writing or in textbooks, we use asterisks, which would be the little star thing, little star symbol. That would be the X. Then you have minus, which is your dash. And then you have the plus. Okay? So we have division, which is like it's like a percent sign that got turned to be horizontally positioned. So you have the dots here instead of the dots slanted at an angle. Right? That's where your fractions and everything comes in. And your percentages come in, where there's division, which is where the decimal point separates, like the gap that I told you about here in between the hands. That's where that separates. It's division. It's a separation. So division sign, multiplication sign, minus sign, plus sign. Okay. And you're going to say 75% off. Okay. 0.75 times the amount that it says. When they're doing extra stuff like, oh, it's 25, 75, that's where the stuff gets a little bit more trickier. It's because it's not like directly whole numbers. There's numbers with like fractions, which is like extra little cents. Like if it's $3.69 or $3.75 or $75.99. We do round ups. So rounding up is basically when you want to. So if it says $3.99, we're basically like, oh, that's like $4. That's a round up. So you want to go up, because when there's a percentages and when you have numbers like that, it's technically over like, how did they used to do it? Like if it was like past like 5 or 6 or something like that, if I could remember right, they'd round it up. But if it's below it, you wouldn't round it up, and you just, so like if something was like $3.40, we would just say it's like $3 if you were to round it down, round up, round down. If it was $3.60, you would be like, oh, it's like $4 in math terms for rounding. Stuff like that. So when you're in the store and you see that, that's what you can pretty much do. So you can be like, oh, okay, let me just take that, round it up. Because most times it's going to be in an area where you got to round it up anyways. And that's where their tax and all of that comes in. So, yeah. But that's all. That's what I just feel like breaking down today. So, if you enjoyed that video, be sure to like it, comment, share it with somebody if it's helpful, And, yeah, like, I don't know. brainiac stuff. But I hope you all enjoy your day. You have a wonderful evening and night, and utilize this because it's very helpful if you think about it. Or, continue to use your calculators. They're helpful too. But if you don't have a calculator, better start getting your, yeah, you know what I mean? Better start getting it together. Let's start getting it together. Get it together. Get it together. But nah, yeah, I'm out of here though, y'all. So, deuces.